Alright, let's do a whip stitch, yeah? Tools you're going to need for this: a lighter, some pliers, some pretty small diameter, preferably synthetic line. That's it. Some people will just toss some electrical tape onto the ends of their rope. Take the time to do it right, put a whip stitch in there. It's going to hold a lot better, and you're going to have less fraying, it's going to come off less, and your rope will last longer. So let's get to it. First thing, you're going to take off about, I usually do about 2 feet, and it's going to depend on the diameter of the rope that you're stitching. This is a pretty thick rigging rope, so I'm going to burn off about 2 feet. And I like burning just because you don't have any fraying that way, so just take your lighter, heat it up, well, it comes right apart. I like to stick my rope in a vise, but you by no means have to. It's just something to make it a little easier. So first thing you're going to do is create a bite with your line. Just lay it right on top of where you want your whip stitch. So I've got the long side on top here, and the short side down here. You're going to bring it on over, cross that shorter side, bring it underneath, put a wrap in, or turn rather. Pull it snug but not super tight, or else you're just going to unwind the whole thing until you get about 2 or 3 turns in there. Can't really muscle it too terribly hard. And you're just going to come over again. So I've got 2 turns. I can go ahead and pull pretty hard. You can see it's compressing quite a bit. You want this tight, or else it'll just come off. And you just work your way on up the rope, putting in as much or as little as you feel necessary. So I'll do that. Alright, I feel that's pretty good. So you're going to go ahead and thread through that bite. And then with your pliers, you're going to grab that shorter side from the bottom and pull. Now when you're pulling, you don't want to pull all the way through. You want the bite trapped somewhere in the middle. You'll be able to see it raise up as you pull. So I'm pretty much there. Now to keep it from fraying and wearing, I'm going to turn it so the flame's not eating the rope. I'm going to burn off these ends. Alright, so go ahead and take a razor blade or whatever you have handy. I like to use a serrated edge of my Gerber and cut through, not right on top of the whip stitch, maybe a couple millimeters ahead. Doesn't have to be perfect. From here, I'm take it out of your vise if you're using a vise. This helps if you're in a not so windy room. I'm in the shop right now, so it's a little windy. And then I'll just melt these together. It kind of mushrooms, really holds that whip stitch in place. Now, in my opinion, this is borderline and maybe a little bit too wide. I probably could take it down a little bit, just because if you get too wide of a solid surface on there, you're going to have issues getting it through pulleys and whatnot. So, alright, there you have your whip stitch. Have a good one, humans.